The DC Universe is over barely before it began, according to tabloid trash that makes fake news like Taylor Lorenz seem like Walter Cronkite in comparison. You're gonna be so shocked you'll be looking around to see if Hassan Piker is nearby. James Gunn in a recent interview was asked about his plans after Man of Tomorrow. Is the world meant to continue, or is the story supposed to end, like Batman's parents? Good news for DC fans, he indicated that everything he is writing is indeed meant to continue on. I know this will upset those who wanted an executive level abortion, but that's the facts. James even said everything is meant to go on significantly longer. This is a strong contrast to someone like Zack Snyder's vision, who had an end in sight from the start. Justice League 3 was meant to conclude the DCEU, a project he planned from the get-go. But James Gunn added a footnote by saying, whether or not it's him who will fulfill that promise depends on a lot of things in life. Fake news like the outlet Cosmic Book News took this story and framed it by saying James Gunn's future is in doubt. Let me be clear about outlets like Cosmic Book News. They have less credibility than the tabloid trash you see in supermarkets claiming Princess Diana was actually abducted by aliens. Cosmic Book News hopes you mistype comic book news and stumble upon them. In fact, they have celebrated the idea that James Gunn could be fired. That is completely fine if you don't like James Gunn and think someone else should lead the DC universe, but news outlets without stating it's an editorial should not. It automatically discredits what you do. I want everyone to keep this in mind. Man of Tomorrow could be 2-3 years away. James Gunn will be in his 60s. When he says it depends on a lot of things in life, he is not only talking about career prospects, he is talking about family, health, life. Remember, even Zack Snyder had to leave his beloved project due to a family tragedy. A lot of times planning the future comes with an underlying assumption that your circumstances will be similar. Of course, however, part of it does come from the studio politics and external factors. We are in the middle of Warner Brothers most likely being acquired by another company. Whether or not they clean house or keep certain established forces will depend on profitability and critical reception. These mergers take time. By the time a bid is accepted and a merger goes through, Lanterns will have already aired. Supergirl will have had its theatrical release, and the smaller budgeted Clayface movie will have also been seen by audiences. These are more than enough projects to gauge whether or not the audience is excited or disinterested in the future of the DC universe. All this talk about the end of DC alongside Zack Snyder's messaging has created energy among the Restore the Snyderverse movement not seen since Release the Snyder Cut. The movement proposes two alternative paths. One is sell the DCEU to Netflix. That way, Warner Brothers can continue with the DCU while Zack Snyder and his team finish his story. The second option is restoring the Snyderverse. This means completely restructuring the creative team, ending the DCU, and continuing the DCEU with Man of Steel 2, Ben Affleck's The Batman, Flashpoint, and Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. Alternatively, James Gunn's future DCU includes Batman Brave and the Bold, Crypto Short Stories, an Amanda Waller project, Booster Gold, Wonder Woman, a Mr. Miracle show, and Swamp Thing. There hasn't been much talk about it, but we know there is a prospective prequel to the new Wonder Woman, a Game of Thrones inspired show focused around the Amazons. We also know Blue Beetle will return, but we don't know if this will be in a solo project or on a team like Titan. And of course, as mentioned earlier, the Lanterns HBO Max show, the Supergirl blockbuster movie with Jason Momoa as Lobo, and the smaller budgeted horror Clayface movie, First Look into the DCU's Gotham City. I have 3 questions for you, the audience. What do you think will happen to the DCU? What do you want to happen to the DCU? And do you want to see the Snyderverse restored, brought back as an Elseworlds project, or end it permanently, like Uncle Ben? Let me know in the comments.